Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing? It's been quite a while. I feel like I've been in a cocoon phase for the past, well, since the full moon in Aries. So it's been, yeah, over a week and a half. We're in the balsamic moon phase now, and it has been like a feeling of just very, um, I don't know if you want to call it low energy, but just like feeling private, you know? I got back from an amazing astrology conference in Park City, Utah, and it was so cathartic. It was a very intimate group. I think there were around 100 people, and there were, I don't even know, like 9 or 10 different tracks. Like you could do a peer group, or I did consulting skills with the amazing Kay Taylor, and 9 of us were in a track. So very intimate. We used each other's charts and gave each other readings, and we brought real concerns from our personal lives, and I got emotional, and it was so beautiful how all of us are able to hold this beautiful space for each other and exercise the compassion that we have as compassionate healers. That's what essentially what we are. We're put on this earth to heal. Anyway, so that's where I've been, and it's been a wonderful whirlwind. And now the moon is in Virgo and the sun is in Scorpio. Yeah, happy Scorpio season. It has been spooky out there, to be honest. There's just been some insane stories floating around, and even in friends' lives, just like the wildest occurrences, I guess you could say. But yeah, there's a lot going on per usual. So it's a Sunday, and it's Mercury hour. It's Mercury hour on a Sunday, the 27th of October, and we are building up to a lot of tense energies. If you are following astrology, you might have heard about the Mars-Pluto opposition, which in isolation it can be very brutal. This is the energy where uninhibited energies can be at play. Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio, and Pluto is the modern ruler and of Scorpio. Mars also rules Aries, which is where our north node is, and it's that warrior energy, that energy that is designed to defend oneself. So it's very aggressive and impulsive. And Pluto is the energy that can destroy. Both of them can destroy. Pluto is the energy that has the intention of destroying to rebuild, so death and rebirth. Yeah, Mars brings the drive and Pluto brings the depth. So this can go in a number of different ways, but essentially this is meant to break old patterns, old structures, with the intention of a renewed purpose, to activate change from a place of empowered authenticity. At the same time, this Mars in Cancer and Pluto in Capricorn is being held in this cradle formation with Uranus in Taurus at 25 degrees and Neptune in Pisces at 27 degrees. And those are both retrograde. And the cradle aspect is, kind of like what it sounds like. It's a nurturing aspect that encourages resilience, and is made up of 2 sextiles, which are creative opportunities, and 2 trines, which are flowing energies between the same elements. So the 2 trines are Uranus in Taurus and Pluto in Capricorn, both earth signs, and then Mars in Cancer and Neptune in Pisces, which are both water signs. And then earth and water get along well together. They are able to create something tangible with imagination and creativity. You can build something that you can see and touch. I'm kind of jumping ahead a little bit. When the exact opposition between Mars and Pluto take place at 29 degrees, the moon will be in Sagittarius conjunct Mercury in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is a very optimistic, fun-loving, likes to joke around kind of sign, kind of energy. And Sagittarius is also connected to foreign lands as well. So there could definitely conversations, on the world stage with all the things that are going on in all the different corners of the world. I mean, we want to also keep in mind that Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is in Gemini. And Gemini will also be opposite Venus in Sagittarius. So Venus related to relationships and love and beauty, and Jupiter bringing expansion and blessings and beliefs. And so these two oppositions between Mars and Pluto in the sign of Cancer and Capricorn, as well as Venus and Jupiter in the sign of Sagittarius and Gemini, they are a good balance for each other. Like, we've got the two malefics opposing each other, Mars and Pluto, and the two benefics, Venus and Jupiter. And so, I mean, like I've said before, like, the universe is just so brilliant to have these co-occurring energies that help us to handle these two types of energies on different ends of the spectrum. And we want to not be so doom and gloom about everything, because there's always, a silver lining. And if we can hold that frequency, then we can, manifest that type of outcome. If we can, just kind of like observe and not absorb whatever kind of information that we're taking in. Hopefully it's more on the lighter positive side, but if we're like just inundated, or it's our job to research certain news topics that are like just not good news, then it's important to like not stay in that heavy, dense energy. And right now the veil is thin, Scorpio season, with all of these energies that are floating around, especially with the water trine. There's a grand water trine with Mercury in Scorpio, Mars in Cancer, and Neptune in Pisces. And so this like circuit of energy of psychic intuition, and it's kind of like a seance triangle. There's like this flow of messages, intuition, instincts, even visions that can come from beyond the veil. And like there's a lot of things that can come through, like, messages, energies. So it's important, be mindful of what we are putting out. The universe doesn't understand sarcasm. It's very literal. So we want to make sure that the words that we are speaking, like, words are wands, and we want to make sure that the words that we are speaking, that we choose to put out in the universe, is charged with the type of energy that we want to see. So even if you're, if you think you're making a joke, like, catch yourself, because, like I said, universe does not understand sarcasm. I don't think there's really a place for dark humor when it comes to manifestation. I mean, I guess it depends on, what your intentions are. Hopefully it's for good and not for evil. And this grand water trine, it's at 25, 26, 27. So on the 31st, Mercury in Scorpio at 26 degrees, Neptune retrograde in Pisces at 27 degrees, and Mars in Cancer at 28 degrees. So that's, then that's Halloween. So that's the next day, the days around it, like the 29th, 30th, 31st, and then the new moon on the 1st. Those are really potent days to be mindful with your magic. Magic can really come through during these days if you're very intentional with how you're putting your words out and writing things down, and just very like staying connected to that realm where you're able to visualize and see what you want to see for yourself, like basically meditating on how you want to see everything play out for yourself. So tomorrow, Venus in Sag squares Saturn in Pisces, Saturn retrograde. So I see this as barricaded road openers, and Venus in Sagittarius wants to explore all the options, all the directions, and travel to foreign lands, and just enjoy all the different cultures that life has to offer. But Saturn in Pisces Saturn's like that restrictive energy, and there can be some sort of boundary that is pulling us back from really going beyond, going overboard. So it's this balancing that is required between the desire for exploration and having a grounding anchor. There's some sort of responsibility that has to be attended to, and that can be kind of like a wet blanket for Venus. And this is at 12 degrees, which is connected to Pisces, so connected to intuition, forgiveness, illusion. So it depends on what house that Saturn and Venus are in your chart. And at this time, the moon will still be in Virgo, opposing Neptune. And so there can be like optimistic intention of being creative and using your imagination, but the moon in Virgo is going to want to be critical. The moon in Virgo is going to be critical and like will want the data and, you know, proof or facts or some sort of confirmation that your intentions or your plan is solid. So that can be kind of like a damper, but I mean, it's like a very grounded kind of energy. Like I said, there's always a balance to these, because like Venus and Sag, especially as it's opposing Jupiter and Gemini, there can be a tendency to go overboard and be excessive in our pursuit of happiness, like whatever pleasures. And I mentioned the grand water trine on the, like between the 30th and 31st, and then into the 1st of November, which is when the new moon in Scorpio takes place at 5:47 a.m. Pacific Standard Time at 9 degrees. And so this is a new moon when the sun and moon come together, and 9 degrees is connected to Sagittarius, and themes of Sagittarius include optimism, truth-seeking, exploration, as well as faith, spirituality, and ethics. So at the same time as this new moon in Scorpio, it comes into the Mars-Pluto opposition is already in the same degree. It doesn't actually perfect to the minute until the 3rd of November, but it's already, they're both at 29 degrees. And Juno in Libra will also be at 29 degrees. And Juno is the asteroid of marriage, and I consider it to be the like the marriage manager, but it doesn't have to be connected to just marriage. It can be partnerships, any kind of relationship where responsibilities are understood and assumed. And with Juno, this can be like any sort of job or, you know, relationship in the sign of Libra, which is where the South Node is. It could be a feeling of, you know, it could be this long-standing feeling or indecision of whether to end this relationship or not, or quit this job, or fire this person, or get a divorce, or, you know, some sort of ending of this relationship. And so this T-square to Juno is really, with Mars and Pluto in the sign of Capricorn, the powers that be, and Mars and Cancer can be just that emotional impetus and drive to make a decision. Like Mars and Pluto are the rulers of Scorpio, which is where this new moon is taking place. And so this can be a very heavy new moon, but it's going to be, you know, Mars is also the ruler of our North Node. It's going to be a new direction that's probably, you know, been percolating for a while now. You know, this is coming to a head. Information can be coming to the surface that helps us make this decision to cut ties. And again, this Mars-Pluto opposition that's co-occurring with this new moon is in this cradle aspect, which is a nurturing type of energy that encourages resilience. And Uranus and Neptune that are part of this cradle aspect, they are generational planets. So these are collective energies and energies that we're pulling from that involve universal, like, knowledge and wisdom. So we're remembering how to make these changes and accept what is, you know, and forgive so that we can move on with our lives. Yeah, any new moon intentions are really going to be very potent to write down and speak, and, you know, just be very clear with what you're asking for. It's going to be a very powerful new moon, and a lot of people, this is going to affect, I mean, pretty much everybody. Like, there's very few signs that this could possibly not affect. I mean, we've got Mars, which is the ruler of Aries and Scorpio, in an opposition to Pluto, which is the ruler of Scorpio, and these are in the signs of Cancer and Capricorn. And those are cardinal signs, so if you're also an Aries or Libra, this is going to affect you. The new moon is in Scorpio, which is a water sign. So if you're also a Pisces or Cancer, also water signs, these energies are going to affect you. And then the same day, Venus and Jupiter will also be opposing one another. So if you're a Taurus or a Libra, ruled by Venus, this will affect you. And then Jupiter ruling Pisces and Sagittarius. So Mercury is also in a trine to, Mercury is in this grand water trine in Scorpio, and Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. So these energies will be affecting you both as well. And Aquarius is ruled by Uranus and Saturn. Uranus is part of this cradle formation, so I don't think there's anybody that's not really affected. I mean, Leo is ruled by the sun, so the new moon is when the sun and moon come together. So everyone is affected. Everyone's going to be feeling this in one way or another. But I don't know, like the Mars-Pluto opposition, very intimidating, but I feel like with the aspects that Mars and Pluto are making with Uranus and Neptune, it's not as bad as it could be. The real tension that I'm seeing is the T-square to Juno in Libra, and that's like connected to relationships and partnerships, and maybe like obligatory situations, like Libra in the same sign as the South Node. But hopefully that was helpful, and hopefully it made sense. The solar flares are really popping off as well. I've been catching Stefan Burns weather reports, and I will link some clips which I've never done before. It's like 1 minute clips, so a lot of the beginning of the video can be very technical, but he does go into the planetary resonance as far as the archetypes that like the sun represents, and how the effects of these solar flares are having on us individually. And it's really interesting how we're really being asked. It's more of a demand. Like universe is demanding for us to come forth with our creativity and just like be fearless and unabashed. Like the sun rules Leo, and in Stefan Burns' video, he talks about how wherever Leo is in your chart is where you are being asked to like come forth and shine, and like not have any fear about shining your light. And then also like considering what your sun sign is, and like how to shine, like bringing those gifts that your sun sign is in to the forefront without having any fear of judgment or anything like that. So yes, very validating and confirming. So hence this overdue video. So I appreciate everyone sticking around and listening. Thank you so much for your likes and subscribes. It was awesome meeting so many familiar, because I've seen them virtually, amazing astrologers, and actually like being able to speak with them in person and hug them, and just such like powerful connections. Like that's where it's at. If I could just go on like a world tour of astrology conferences, like that would be my dream, because they are just so amazing and impactful, and it's like so surreal. I recommend, even you don't even have to be a practicing astrologer to enjoy these astrology conferences. Like you learn so much about the world, the universe, yourself, when you just listen, and when you engage in these conversations, then for sure you open up so many more rabbit holes and make so many connections. And there was someone who was talking about how astrologers look younger than they are, and I do believe it's because we don't hold on to the stress. Like we're able to understand and have the awareness of what's happening, and when we see it and we're able to connect it to, a particular transit or position in the sky, then that language that we're able to apply to life events, when we're able to do that, we are able to let go of the stress and just like move through it, understand it, and then move on. Like we don't hold on to the stress, and any stress that is associated with astrology, I feel like might be just wanting to know more and learn more, and like wanting to have all the energy and more time in a day to inhale this information and share it with the world. Like that is, I think that's the stress. I mean, I guess I can speak personally, but just having the time and energy to be able to learn so much and distribute the information and share it is the most challenging part. I mean, other than that, it's, I wish everybody could understand and speak the language of astrology, because it would just alleviate so much stress. And if everybody like could learn astrology, it would be really interesting to see how each person's background and experience would be applied to what they're learning, and how they would take that information and kind of like filter it through their experiences. Anyway, I'm just rambling now. So thank you again. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that made sense. I hope that was helpful. And yes, be mindful with your words and thoughts. It is a very thin veil that we are in right now, and yeah, the energies are very tender. So take care of yourself, and hopefully you have the time and space to ease into your day. Dreams can be coming through with a lot more color, a lot more vivid dreams, messages. So pay attention to those, write them down, and yeah, I hope for the best. Hope for the best, and all the best blessings. All right, till next time. Take care.